Hello, everyone. Welcome to Collector Chatter. This is episode 57. I am your host, Miguel, with my co host, as always, Charlie. And we are here talking about week 2 of the Funko Fair and some other Funko news. A lot of awesome stuff is dropping.
And as always, if you're listening on the podcast platforms, please make sure you're following us, especially if you're listening on Spotify. Make sure you interact with all the questions that we have every week. And then if you're over on YouTube, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment, and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. And also, please follow us over at Collector Chatter on Instagram. All right, with that being said, let's chat.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another great episode. We are very excited because this is continuing on with the Funko Fair news that has been dropping. We talked about it last week with the week 1 announcements that this was the first time they were kind of spreading it out.
Yeah.
It used to be like 3 days, like back-to-back days. Now we're getting them like in individual weeks randomly, coming out. But it's pretty cool. It makes it a little bit more exciting and makes you like look forward to see what's to be coming. Another new thing is that they're randomly different categories and genres. It's not like, anything specific. So, like you really are getting a mix of stuff, and it could be some stuff that, you might be excited for. So just like last week, we'll go through all the stuff that was announced through Funko. We'll go kind of back and forth one by one, talking about a little bit about the pop. If you were watching here on YouTube, as always, we will pop up pictures so you can see, what they look like. And then we'll get into maybe some other stuff that's going to be dropping or announced, etc. In, towards the end of the episode that wasn't necessarily Funko Fair related. But Charlie, you can start us off if you want. I know the first one was something that you're probably going to go crazy about. But we do have some pretty sweet things coming out. I think that were
Yeah.
announced this week.
I mean, another week, another Disney 100, straight up fire. We got, dude,
They
this
may
to
drop
me,
100
they
pops
may.
in this one line.
I actually think they may, which is not good because my New Year's resolution was to buy not as many Funko Pops. Um, but so I love basically almost all these ones that were announced, but the one that's really stick out to me is Walt on a train, and it's going to become a set. They only announced the first two.
Mhm.
So we got Walt on the train, and then the first one that's going to attach to it is Steamboat Willie. I mean, I've never collected like any of these lines that they've made with these trains where you have to get all of them to make the piece. I tried
You
to get
never
the
got the original one?
I
That like Disney one?
it's funny you say that. I have like the almost all of them. That was when Funko Shop exclusives were hard to get.
Yeah. And
And
the prices went crazy
I
if you
got
didn't get
none of
it.
them. I only have the commons, so I never completed the train.
Mm.
So yeah, that really stinks. Um, I got like the People Mover one, but that's like wasn't as hard to
Yeah,
collect
nah.
as
Yeah.
the trains ones. So I'm really curious what else is going to be added on to this, but I think it's super cool. And then I mean, we got the Walt Funko Shop exclusive of him like leaning with the camera. So it's kind of the errors when he's making his live action movies. We got a freaking Mickey diecast, which I'm
Mhm.
super pumped about. Um, the one thing that's really interesting about this, which I don't know if you noticed it, I didn't until people were saying in the comments, it's number 7. So they're including it in the superheroes line, where Star Wars got their own line. I think is a little
It's
strange.
interesting. It is weird that Star Wars is separate. It's if it wouldn't to me it would make sense if they just put them all together. They're clearly all Disney related
I
under
completely agree. I thought
umbrella.
that's what it should have been.
Um, but well, no, actually, because DC's in the
Oh yeah,
mix
DC's
with
in it.
Marvel.
Yeah.
So then it's really weird. So maybe the Star Wars ones were just like a really one-off weird one, or maybe like that license is so like it
They know
has
they're
to
gonna
be
be
on
making
its
tons of them.
own.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, there's a ton of options, whatever. I mean, there's a ton of these that can be made too. But yeah, I mean, this thing looks awesome. I mean, I literally get every single diecast when it comes out. I had the only one that I was like a little was like the Wonder Woman one. I'm like a huge Wonder Woman fan, so I wasn't like super hyped about that. But every one that has come out, like I have been really excited. It's been a character that I really like. I think the molds have been looking great. We've gone back and
Yeah.
forth with this whole chase thing. We don't have to talk about that anymore, but they're obviously still doing that. I think this one's pretty cool though, like to have like
I
the
agree.
metal die cast, not the chase option as Mickey. Like that's a pretty cool um take on it, I guess you could say. But yeah, I love the diecast, and then like you said, that whole train set is cool. There's going to be five, so it's interesting.
Yep.
Like, what do you think those other three are going to be? It's obviously like some of the classic like cartoons and stuff. So because we obviously got Steamboat Willie right off the bat, so definitely a cool one. And I'm sure that's going to be a line that probably will follow suit with the first original Disney train, where it's going to
Yeah.
probably be hard to get and it's probably going to be pretty expensive. It is Amazon exclusive, which those were as well, right? And when they released, or some of them were, maybe not all of
I,
them.
yeah, I think maybe one was, and they were
One
commons, and like I think three
is
of
the
them were
mini or
Funko
something.
Shop
Yeah.
exclusives.
So definitely interesting to see that they're still doing this like train line. It's cool. They've done it with multiple things. Nightmare for Christmas. They've done it with multiple different things. It just kind of makes sense to throw
Yeah.
Walt in there now, which is awesome. But yeah, definitely this line is massive. And like I said, maybe they really are aiming for 100 different pops that are going to be announced for this, because they're clearly going to continue to milk it throughout the year, I'm sure, with the whole 100 years. And the
And
next one
then
we got, oh, go
I
ahead.
just want just to give some perspective. Those are my favorites, but I'm just gonna run through all of them really quick. I'll just like rapid fire. I mean, then we're getting a new Mirabelle pop from Encanto. We're getting a Snow White, a Cinderella.
Hmm.
Then we're getting Aurora. We're getting Tiana. We're getting an Elsa. Most of them have like a variant, a diamond edition, all different exclusives. One that I found interesting, the Elsa is a Party City exclusive. I
Yeah,
don't know if we've ever had one of those. If we
I don't think
have,
so.
well, let me know in the comments. We're getting a 3-pack of some of the cast from Aristocrats. We're getting movie moments. We're adding we've gotten tons of movie moments from that movie. There are fan favorites. We're getting like a Moana deluxe pop. I thought it was weird they added the Snow White movie poster in this announcement because that's already been well announced officially, I think, by Funko. And
Hmm.
then the last two, which I personally loved, were from Mary Poppins. Um, so yeah, just wanted to run through those because I mean it
Hmm.
is like you
I
said,
actually
it's
forgot. I forgot
massive.
that all of those were announced because, like, on Funko's actual page, they don't talk
They're
about any
not
of those.
there. I know.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're just kind of announced as the 100, but not technically Funko Fair. Like maybe that's
Yeah.
why. But obviously the Disney 100 line, we've been talking about it every week. So like every time there's something new. But it is cool that there's Encanto Pops. It's a mix. So they're definitely doing like, all different types of Disney stuff. Kind of going with the whole theme of the old Walt stuff and then older cartoons and then throwing in a lot of new stuff as well. So definitely excited line. There's also another Disney one that's because it doesn't really fall into that, but it's a BAM exclusive. So Books a Million, which we don't have any of those really around
No.
here, like the actual store. But this is from Lilo and Stitch, and the actual character is Reuben with a grilled cheese. So just another, Lilo and Stitch character. They do a lot of these pops. Uh, it's a cute one. I don't know too much about like I feel like I don't even know if I've ever watched Lilo and Stitch like
So
fully.
so he's from the animated like series, not even in the original
Okay.
movie. This
Not
is
even
a
for the movie.
definitely a niche pop. And if you're obviously like a Stitch collector, you'll want it, but he's not like quote unquote mainstream.
Yeah, makes sense. He kind of looks like a mix of Stitch and one of the chipmunks from
He
Chippendale.
totally does. He totally does. Um,
but that was a cool one.
Another one we got, which the gift that keeps on giving, is another
Yeah,
fluffy pop. This time it's a partner with Jack in the Box. Hey, if you're a fluffy collector, or we have had some Jack in the Box pops. Sure, this looks great to you.
yeah.
If not, I mean, it's just another fluffy
It's
pop,
a
which
cool like collab. Like it's
it
cool that
is.
you're getting both. He's got a taco in his hand, a special edition. So I'm assuming based off the picture, that little taco sticker with the special edition Jack and him is going to be like the sticker on it, which will be kind of cool looking to get like a unique take
Oh,
on
you're
like
right.
the,
That
the
is cool.
sticker shape and stuff, right? But it's another fluffy pop. It's always him. You might have like this one is obviously wearing a shirt with like the Jack in the Box like logo on it and like the little clown guy, whatever. But there's so many of these. I mean, this license and this thing that he's got going with them is obviously massive. So
It is.
it's whatever.
I kind of wish though that they would like do more pops like this with other celebrities that like love Funko.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like you remember the sodas where like Brian and Mike were holding like their favorite like character. They were those exclusive ones that came out. I like that idea. I know this is off topic, but it would be kind of cool. Like, for example, Lance Bass. He's been shown that he's like a huge Funko collector. He actually was just on like like
Yeah, he was
talk
on like,
show.
yep.
It'd be cool if they started making like celebrity pops of people who actually collect, and maybe they were holding their favorite pop or something. Like if they're gonna make a ton of like, I understand he has like a deal with them,
Hmm.
but I think share the love. Like I mean, and in the comments, tell me if I'm crazy, but is it coming to a point where there's too many of like I'll just use Fluffy as an example. Like, is there a point where you're like, I love Fluffy, but like really another one?
I think a part of it too, and it's not like his fault, whatever. Obviously, like he's a comedian, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm a little more like icked about like that he has so many because he's in the comedian line, and that line is so
So small.
small. Like they literally have only a few people, and there's so many comedians that they can obviously add. I know Jeremy, one of our big
Yeah.
listeners, he's like a diehard, fan of comedy. And he's talked about so many comedians that could be made into Funko Pops, and they haven't. So like, it's not even just like he's a random regular actor or an athlete or whatever. Like he's a comedian. That line is so small, and we're getting constantly fluffy ones, and it's literally like not him from a set. It's just him like as something else or dressed as something. He's almost like the damn Freddie Funko
Yeah.
like
It's very
like in
product
like a real
placement.
life like version of it. It's like so weird. But yeah, it's whatever. We talked way too long about Fluffy. I'm sorry, Fluffy fans, but
We did.
so
Let's go into sodas.
yeah, let's get into some sodas. So there are a few sodas. I'll run through some of these sodas because we'll get some more later, but these are just generic sodas that are being coming out. Still piece counts on these. They're not part of like, long, like big wave lines. But we're getting a Jurassic Park one, which is awesome. Ian McCollum, which is Malcolm, sorry, which is awesome. Obviously, like classic character,
Yeah,
classic,
yeah, I love this one.
part of the movie. Like you see the chase and he's got a shirt ripped open. So it's like really cool. Funko's already done a few cool pops of him, anyways.
Yes.
So it's awesome that we're getting into this. If you saw, it is a 30th anniversary Jurassic Park. It shows as the line. So interesting to see if we're going to get any other ones because I believe he is the very first character from the movie as a soda,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So we got that one. We're getting for you Parks and Recs fans out there. We're getting Andy Dwyer. I don't know too much about Parks and Recs. I know it's like a great show, but I've never actually got into it. And I think this may
This is Chris
be
Pratt's character.
yeah, Chris Pratt. But is it the first
No,
Parks and Rec soda, or they do have something, right?
there's more. Yeah,
Okay,
there's a
and
few,
I
I
mean
think.
Parks and Rec is another one of it's almost like an office line. Like there's so many characters. Funko has made a ton of them, but it's cool that we're getting a soda versions of some of these characters. So we are getting one of those. This one I think is pretty awesome. We're getting a Batman. This is from the classic TV show, and it's actually pretty sweet because that chase is something from a TV show episode. Like I saw a
Yes.
screenshot of it, which at first I saw it and I was like, why does he have like the pink hat? And like I know they make the OG Batmans in like pink and green. And I was like, is it something about that? But I didn't realize it was an actual scene where he's like the cowl part he was actually
This one's
wearing was
sick.
like that, which is so cool. This character has always been amazing. Whenever they get him in Funko form, of course, the 18-inch like is super grail at this point. Like you can
Yeah.
never get it. It was very limited piece count, which was sick. So this is definitely, and it's a 15,000 piece, so it's gonna be pretty common, but still like a soda that I'm like definitely gonna try to go after, as well as this next one, which huge Stranger Things fan. You guys don't know I get majority of if I can get all the Stranger Things stuff. When it comes to sodas, so far I've gotten all of the ones that have released, except for the Demogorgon I haven't gotten yet, but Gemini actually has it up, so probably grab it through them eventually. But we get Steve Harrington, classic, awesome Steve character. I don't really like that it's like him with the bat, and then the difference is only literally the glasses and the gloves, which I feel like maybe the first one should have been without the bat. I don't know. They could have done because it's almost exactly the same. It
Yeah,
was just
I hate this chase. I
freaking
actually the
glasses
Stranger
on.
Things line is such a perfect opportunity to have two completely different sodas because the
Completely
characters
different.
look different in every season.
Yep.
And it's not like this is a season 4 line, for example. So yeah, I think that's a huge missed opportunity. Awesome soda,
Yeah.
but like they should be doing
Yeah,
that.
I still, I'm still gonna these so far. I'm looking at them now. I think all of these are 15,000. One of them's 12,500, but they're definitely like bigger piece counts. Which when I know we've talked about the whole no piece counts and
Yeah.
some having piece counts, but these are like pretty big. They're almost like not having piece counts when you have 15,000. It's a pretty big number. It's kind of like their cheating way of still putting a number, but not, then we got another Star Wars one. Feel like we haven't had a Star Wars pop in a while or soda in a while. Of course, we got like flooded with all those ones for a long time. And remember, Charlie, you were like, "This is gonna be crazy if they're coming
I
out with all
know.
these Star Wars ones," and they kind of did slow down, which was interesting. Uh, we saw this one a long time ago. I remember kind of
This was
getting.
announced months ago officially. Like
I was gonna say it wasn't even rumors; it was like actually announced, and like
this is
now they're
weird.
kind of throwing it back in there. And of course, it is the Padme Amidala one. Uh, it's cool. The chase, again, we talked about it back then. I guess it's a metallic one, but it's a cool soda to have. I'm sure like you're a fan of the fact that
Uh,
this character is getting a soda for sure.
yeah,
But Chase is a little, yeah, it's a little weak. But yeah, interesting that it's now being re-announced and it never actually dropped back when it was originally announced. So a
yeah.
little weird. But pretty good set of sodas overall. Not loving all the common Chase combos, but the characters and the fact that they're getting these in sodas were definitely good ones.
I completely agree with you. All awesome sodas. Chases could be way better. But next we'll go on to it's kind of like a few wave of Marvel stuff. So I'll kind of run
Yeah.
through those. First one, once again, they announced another one of the Civil War build a scene pops. This time we got
Yeah.
Black Widow. I love this line, but I think it's kind of weird that they're doing this at Funko Fair. But then again, kind of really complain when, like we just said, they announced a soda that they did months ago that I pre-ordered months ago. Makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And this mold's kind of
Yeah,
it's a little
it's
plain. It's not so far they haven't been we talked about this. Like the Black Panther one was a pretty cool mold, but the rest have been kind of pretty basic. And I don't think I realized it was 12 of them. For some reason I thought there was only like 10. 12 is like a pretty big
it's huge. Yeah.
amount of characters.
I do like the idea of it though, but you're right. Like they're none of them have been like besides the Black Panther, like amazing. But I'm gonna be curious. I'm hoping the Spider-Man one is of him like kind of like flipping in or like doing some action. Was like this is the first time you ever see Spider-Man in the
Hmm.
MCU. So they have a good opportunity of making that one look cool, but who knows? Then the next line, I personally like this, but I know some people probably hate it. You as well.
I don't hate it. I
Uh,
don't hate it. I just don't think we really needed this many.
fair, but they're trying to it's weird with the shorts because they're trying to give representation for every short. I know what you mean. Probably
Hmm.
don't need 6. That is fair, and
Yeah.
we've already have a few.
Well, that's what I mean because we already have a few. That's the
But
only reason
these
why I'm
are
like,
better than the
they are
ones we already
different.
got.
Yeah.
Um, but I also think this is one of those lines where we're trying to hit a bunch of different people because we're getting the mystery minis, which definitely, I mean, I like collecting those, but my son loves those.
Hmm.
We're getting a Funko Shop exclusive. We're getting keychains, getting Hot Topic exclusive. But
Yeah,
then
flocked one, which is
the
cool.
one thing that I know I really want to talk about, and I want your opinion. I know we've talked about this off the podcast, but getting a 3 liter. And one thing that we have always said was all the 3 liters, we want them to be larger than life characters, where they're bigger and they make sense being in 3 liter.
Hmm.
Baby Groot is not one of those characters. And he is one of my all-time favorite characters. And the only thing that I can say of why maybe they did this, and I want to hear your opinion on it, is they're like, oh, this is kind of like life-size Baby Groot. Like that's like my only like I really hope this isn't the future. And maybe I'm giving Funko credit that they don't deserve on this one, but like, okay, does now this mean we're now going to get tons of random characters that aren't huge characters in 3 liters.
Yeah. I so let me talk about what I think is right away. So one, the actual like molds, let's just go there. Cool. Definitely like the common's cool. He's like mad, he's in those like pajamas, and then he has the whole translucent, which obviously from the show. So that is cool. Like it's different. I like that combination. I spoke about specifically with a regular soda, which was the Bilbo one, or was
Yep.
it Frodo? Was it Frodo or
It's
Bilbo?
Frodo.
Frodo. Frodo's, which was an exclusive only translucent, didn't have a chase, and I'm like, that makes no sense. Why didn't they do a regular one and then the chase that? Perfect example of that here, which is
Yep.
cool. Even though they do have a pop of him like that, they didn't really need to do that. But now let's talk about the character itself and being 3 layer. I hate it, and I think that Funko is now going to be doing random characters. Now, the only thing you can say is Groot, the character eventually Groot, is a larger than life character, right? Even like the teenage version of Groot
Yep.
would have been something like in the new movie, like what he's gonna be like in the new Guardians movie, or obviously what he was like in one of the original ones when he was like full blown. Any of those would have made sense. And even though this is still like him, I don't think it justifies it to be in a 3 liter. Like that'd be like you just doing a kid version of another character and just being like, but they're gonna be big eventually. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. And like I get it, it only says Groot, so it's not like it says Baby Groot, but the picture is clearly the Baby Groot version that's
Yep.
on the bottle. I just it really ruins the whole like should have been larger than life characters, big, characters in general, whatever they are, in these 3 liters, and they've been doing it so far. And it's the first one they're not. And I think they're just gonna maybe that doesn't mean they're gonna make anyone, but again, even a regular size grown up person, I don't think should be in like they shouldn't have a Batman 3 liter. Like even that, something like that, I don't even think
Yep.
makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. Like, I don't know if you think it's cool. Like I said, the fact that the mold itself is pretty cool. What Charlie did say though is like that size character is gonna be like a pretty cool size to then be like, oh, well, I have a Groot,
Yeah.
like a baby Groot. Like I know they made Groot in the pot and the 18-inch, even though that was like him growing up as well. But like to have it almost like life size is pretty cool. So I'm sure like the mold's gonna look good. I just hate it in the sense of like what I think it is gonna be in the future, like what this means for more
Yep.
3 liters. That's why I think I hate it more than it actually being like that size or whatever. It's
Will you
it is
100%
what it
pass
is.
on this soda?
I don't know, and I don't want to say 100% because I've literally passed on all the 3 liters. The Hulk was the first one that I grabbed, and like my daughter would freaking love this if I like got it. So it's like I like maybe wanna, but I don't know. It's gonna be hit or miss. I don't know if I'm gonna like go. It depends on when it drop.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a pre-order person. I wait till it drops and all that kind of stuff. It's a Funko Shop exclusive, obviously, anyway, so you can't really pre-order it. So I guess we'll see at that moment if I'm like willing to get something or if I need something for a cart or whatever. Maybe who knows?
Okay. Cool. And
Are you
then
getting it?
I'm debating on it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's
I'm
interesting
debating.
that it's not like 100% for us.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
not.
that
And
that
that's
says a
just
lot.
because it's also even for me too. Like, not that I don't like the mold, but it's a weird mold for the 3 liter as well. I like that all of them have been like, how do I say? Like, it's just like it is that character. It's not like I don't like that this is from the shorts show.
Yeah, which you barely see that version of him. Like him
Exactly.
and so many other versions.
So he shouldn't have been. I personally think would have been awesome is if one of the versions was Baby Groot, and then the chase was the real version of Groot, the full
It'd
grown
have been
one.
cool. It would have been cool.
That would have been pretty cool.
Like they did with Carl Soda.
Yeah, exactly. Which to this day, I think that is one of the best sodas ever
Yeah.
made,
Yeah.
and I'm shocked they haven't done that more.
Hmm.
But a thing that it seems like they are doing more of, which we kind of predicted this,
Yep.
is these movie theater scenes are like here to stay. If it wasn't for them being so big, I like love these. And once again, I said this last episode about the Harry Potter one. This is like says Avengers Endgame, and I've seen it like the image of it out of the box. Like I said, it says the name of the movie on the bottom. Weird scene to pick, even though this pop is amazing, in my opinion, because I do love this scene in this
Yeah.
movie. And I
Yeah.
personally love this version of Thor, even though I feel like it's a love-hate relationship. But I think this pop is super cool. Can't collect all of these, but I feel like if you are someone who is a Marvel collector only, like this is something I feel like you maybe would want to get for your collection. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Or even just a Thor
Yeah,
collector or a Thor fan. Like, it's definitely not going to be for everyone because of the size and all that, but it's a cool one. It's an interesting one, like you said, that what they went with, but it's a it's still a cool, funny scene. Um, I'm not going after really any of these, especially mostly because of the size and everything. But
agreed.
it's not bad.
And then the last Marvel one we got, which this is a series that's already started from Amazon exclusive. It's like the Avengers collection. It comes with a pop and a pin. And it's like the OG Avengers in like a comic book style. And this time we got Thor. I like this
Who was
collection.
the other one they announced?
They have Iron Man is already out.
Iron
I
Man.
actually have that.
Okay.
And I do think another one has been announced. And it's annoying me that I don't remember who it is. But I do think this
Is
is
this like
the third one.
60th? Was that an anniversary?
It's just
Because it says Earth's Mightiest Heroes 60th.
oh, then that is what it's for.
Beyond Earth's Mightiest. That's what it says on the sticker. But then in the bottom, they like name it that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's the
interesting.
60th anniversary.
But it's cool with the whole pin and stuff. And they're like standing on a little base.
Yeah,
I like the mold of the Thor though, and he's spinning the hammer, which is
it's
really
cool.
cool. You see like the translucent part, like that's really cool. And yeah, it's like that comic style, which they've done that a lot now. Did it with DC, did it with Star Wars. Now we're getting some Marvel ones in that same like paint job basically. Uh, but yeah, it's a pretty cool one. Then up next we have this is gonna be our weekly anime conversation here, which is stuff that we don't know too much about. But this is One Piece, obviously another very, very famous big anime. Lots of fans out there for this. The line is massive. It's kind of similar to like when we talked about last
Demon
week's
Slayer.
was the Demon Slayer ones, yeah. So we're getting a ton of different pops. We're getting keychains. We're getting Chase. I like that they're still holding on. I feel like overall the anime holds on to the Chase pop like handle. Like they are the
Dude,
ones
that
that
I
do it the
want
most.
I'm happy you brought that up because I wanted to talk about that because it's insane how many chases are
Yeah,
in this
this
line.
line specifically is literally almost every character has a chase. But it's just funny because when you really think about it, and we see it all the time with sodas, obviously, because they always have chases, most pretty much 98% of the time. With Pops, there really isn't many chases anymore. Like the chase thing with Pops has really slowly gone away. But with anime, they really do as many as they can with like a chase option. And they're pretty cool. Like a lot of times they're like a glow version or something not super crazy or metallic. But like, yeah, this wave has a ton. I mean, the second page alone of these things, there's like four different ones that have chases. We're getting a super size pop, which is like pretty interesting that we're getting a really, really big version of one of these One Piece ones, a ton of different exclusives. Metallic, we're getting another glowing 4-pack we're gonna have. It's like pretty crazy. So the 4-pack, okay, so it's not a chase, but the 4-pack, one of the ones happens to glow in the dark, which is interesting that one of the ones would be like different than the other three
Yeah,
and being in a 4-pack. So that's kind of cool doing something like that. We're also getting another, so this is Ace, which is like a pretty main character, which is going to be another one of the this is pop animation, but he's in like a it's interesting because it's numbered like a regular pop. This is 1291, but it's in like basically like
the
the
comic cover style.
comic cover or yeah, like that type of like almost like an album, like that version of it, which is cool. We're obviously getting some minis as well, mystery minis, and then we're getting a whole nother set of some exclusives. that have chases as well. So like this line is insane, especially with the chases. One Piece has had some crazy grails and some pops that have been super famous. I did want to touch upon this because I did see this news and it's kind of related to this, but they did announce the
I
One
wanted to say
Piece
that. Yeah, Netflix.
movie, which that is going to be pretty movie, I believe, right? Or is it series
I
or
think
movie?
it's a series on
A series,
Netflix.
okay. But it's like
Live
live
action.
action though. So definitely super cool. And I'm like contemplating if I'm gonna then like watch it,
I mean,
even though I know nothing about it.
what's funny? I I have like I look at these pops and I get like serious FOMO. Even though everyone at this point knows we're not anime people. I am definitely gonna watch that Netflix show. I mean, it's live action. It's either gonna be
Yeah,
probably great or terrible. Um,
yeah, which
Anime
happens a
fans
lot.
will probably think it's garbage, unless it is great. And I know a lot of people will probably be like, Charlie, you should watch the anime first, not the live action. But like,
Yeah,
it's an
which
easy
happens a
way.
lot when they do that.
It's just an easy way for someone like you or I feel like to get into like the franchise.
Hmm.
And I know Netflix
Characters
doesn't
and
have the
story.
best track record with adapting anime,
Now Death Note was trash. Don't watch it.
but I just feel like they're not gonna mess this up. I don't know why. Um,
Yeah, it does look
and
like they're gonna put a lot into this, and this is like I think it's at the perfect time. Like it's not like they came out with it years later, like
yeah,
a movie version of an old anime or something. Like this is like being hyped a lot right now. So it's
it's
definitely
weird though
timely.
because like this isn't new.
No.
This is a really long running anime that
Hmm.
like it's also weird just from talking to some of our friends of the podcast. I didn't realize this line wasn't that big to begin with, and now like this like drop is like huge. It's more than like I mean, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but like more than double the whole line. Like it's just this was
Yeah.
huge for One Piece.
I think it was one of those lines that like a big pop would come out for like a con or
Yeah,
like here and there. But yeah, it wasn't like Death Note, which kind of seems like not Death Note. Why I was just thinking that in my head. It's not like Demon Slayer, which was a line that was
it's
like
slowly
little by little
growing.
we were getting like waves and waves and a couple different versions or whatever. And then obviously some of like the very over popular Dragon Ball Z and those which obviously have had massive lines. But this is like one that yeah, it's from an anime that has been around but is now in the whole like maybe Funko just recently had gotten their license or whatever it may be, but they're like blowing it up and it's very popular and collectors are going crazy for these pops. So like depending on where these drop and how they drop or whatever, like I could see people really going crazy after these, and the values on these are going to be probably pretty nutty. But they're all really cool looking pops, and we say this all the time with the anime pops. We just don't personally watch it, but the figures always look amazing, and the details are always like out of this world. So definitely a cool one.
Yeah.
I'm sure we, like I said, we have fans that do like anime. So comment down below what your thoughts are. Do you think this is too many at once? If you're one of those fans, you're probably like freaking out because there's so many
Yeah,
different
your
ones to
wallet
get.
has just been exploded.
And are you gonna go crazy going after chases, or are you just okay with whatever? So definitely let us know down below. Uh, but you can go
Cool.
on to the next one.
Yeah, the next one, I mean, this one's super cool. I'm not gonna get it, but
Hmm.
we're getting like a TLC the deluxe albums. So, we've talked about this in the past. They're still like I like now that they're kind of just like slowly making these. Um
Hmm.
the one thing I do find interesting is like someone who is a TLC fan, the first line of pops they came out with those were like the ultimate shelf warmers. Um
Yeah,
I'm
with
surprised
chases.
they're like yeah, like I legitimately chases were all over the place, even though they were cool because they're like the waterfall. Um, I, I'm surprised they're still making this because I feel like the market for people who are huge fans aren't Funko collectors, in my opinion. And you're talking to someone who
Yeah,
loved, like I liked that band when I was younger.
yeah. It's definitely showing. Like in the beginning, we were kind of like, oh, maybe these are kind of a little niche, but all right, maybe we're getting them. Collectors will, or people that aren't collectors will collect them because they're just such big fans. And it seems like it's not like the two worlds aren't really
No,
mixing well like they should be. because a lot of, like you said, the music style ones whether it's a general pop, whether it's a normal album, deluxe, whatever it may be, they're generally not super popular or selling out like crazy. Um, but I still feel like they're missing the opportunity of like selling these on like their main websites, like merchandising.
Yep.
Now obviously TLC is not on tour or doing anything like that, but like if you have someone who is like, maybe I'm wrong because I'm not going to all these shows, but like I don't think they're selling these with the merch with hoodies and stuff like that. But that's what they should be doing, is because that's where people are going at to the show. And if they see a figure for the artist that they like, they're probably more likely to grab it than
100%.
not knowing that they could just go online and buy it at Funko or something like that. And that's probably what happens a lot of times. But yeah, the problem with these is they're just so big. Like you got to be a diehard fan. You got to have maybe a record studio or a nice room where you could put some stuff hanging up in the wall. And then maybe it'll be like something that you can go after. But even then, that's very small amount of people, I'm sure. So it's not I don't know. It's not like crazy. Um, then we had an announcement for a bunch of puzzles, which is interesting. Did they have puzzles? Like, do they already I know they have games, but I don't think I've ever seen Funko
They
like
made it. It's
style
funny. It's
puzzles.
so interesting. I actually have a Funko puzzle of the OG Star Wars pops. I think like my mom actually is in the puzzle. She made it for me like now, a few years ago. And
Mhm.
I think it was an old puzzle. They just recently started making these. So I know they made a Turtles one. They made it seems like they're making a lot of Nickelodeon ones actually. They had an
Yeah.
Avatar the Last Airbender one, and I think they had an Elf one.
Mhm.
And now it's like they're announcing a few more during this. I think these are cool.
Yeah.
I
I
think this
mean, they are
is
cool. They're 500-piece puzzles, or like it's interesting. I mean, they it's cool that they're like the Funko. To me, it reminds me of like the T-shirts. Like you're getting like
yep,
a Funko picture on something else, and it's a picture. It's the puzzle, obviously. But just to kind of let you guys know what it is. So obviously, we're getting SpongeBob. We're getting SpongeBob SquarePants one. We are getting a Guardians of the Galaxy one, which that picture is really cool. I think it's like a cool looking puzzle.
it is.
Like the artwork that they did. We also are getting a Ted Lasso one, which is a little random. That's like the toss in there, which that's pretty cool. There's a Jurassic Park one. Again, Jurassic Park is, Funko loves coming out with Jurassic Park stuff. I think that's it, right? Yeah, four. So it's four
That's
different
it.
puzzles. So definitely interesting that they're doing it. It's pretty cool, and it's not necessarily something for me. Like I don't have any of the. Well, I do have the games. I'm lying. I have like the DC version that came out of the games just because I really like that little miniature like size Funko
Yep,
figure that they had in them. And still to this day, the two that I have like the main DC Batman one was like four of them, and then there was like a edition pack that had like another two or whatever. But I've never even opened them. Never opened them. Never looked at the game. Never looked at the figures. They're literally just sitting in my closet since I've gotten them. It's actually kind of like weird, but they are pretty cool.
no, they are
They were
cool.
like on sale, I think, at one point.
I like, yeah, I think Funko definitely thought that was gonna blow up, but it unfortunately just didn't. But those were cool. I was excited. I
Yeah,
have a few of them. I actually
yeah,
though, it's funny. The Ted Lasso one, as a huge fan, like that puzzle's amazing. I like that it's like it's weird because all of them are scenes, and then you have the Jurassic Park one where it's like a
yeah.
bunch of scenes, which I find interesting. I like the other three where they're just like an actual like one image.
Yep. Like they're in
But
a room and there's a bunch of characters.
regardless,
Yeah,
I think it's cool Funko's making them, and I'm a fan.
Mhm.
Next up, we got more comic covers, but I personally think these two are awesome, especially this
Yeah,
first one. We have Hawkeye and Ant-Man, and the pop. It's funny, I didn't notice it because in the image, the Target only like sticker was kind of covering it, but it is
yeah,
sick that Hawkeye is shooting his bow and arrow and Ant-Man is on.
yep.
I think this one is super awesome.
Yeah, which of course that's like, a big scene and like,
Yeah,
comics and movies and
it's
stuff. So
cool.
super cool. And these are obviously the very OG throwback comic style versions of them, which I think is really cool. But yeah, this is a really good one because you're getting two pops basically, but
Yeah.
like together like that is really cool.
And then the other one we're getting Wolverine, which we already have like a more modern Wolverine one where this is like an OG. Which like I've said in the past, I kind of wish they stuck to just like the OG ones. I think this one's super sick too. The mole, the Wolverine. I mean, once again, I say this all the time. The reason these are underrated is we're getting new molds every time when these come out. They're not reusing. They're not just slapping a Wolverine pop that's already been made in this comic
Yeah,
cover. Same with the Ant-Man. Like, I love that they're continuously doing that. It does suck a little bit. Like they're bigger, so you don't, people may not have space. But I'm
yeah,
definitely a huge fan of these.
yeah. Overall, they're probably one of the most consistently good lines based off of the
Yeah,
fact that most of them are great. And the only thing I say is like I don't like that they kind of throw in some newer versions. I get it, like kind of maybe some fans aren't hardcore fans of the comic cover or the comics, but then don't make it like a comic cover line. Like that's the whole point of how it's
agreed.
like comic covers should be more like that old school comic book
Yeah,
first editions, that kind of thing. And like this version of Wolverine's awesome. His hair is like so
it's
crazy.
sick.
And it's just like it's such a cool one. And the between the two of them, it's interesting too, because you see like this one's 1982 #1 issue, and then the other one is 1963, which is crazy, and it was number 223. So it's cool that you're seeing the number issue. It's like you're actually getting the comic. It would be amazing if, I mean, they're not going to give you the real
Yeah.
comic. Obviously, it's just a piece of paper in the back, but it is cool that like these lines exist, and I wish they do stick to the older ways. Because I just think it fits that nostalgia a little bit better than just getting all of these newer versions. Uh, then we saw some more Marvel news, but this is some soda Marvel news. And this kind of throws us back to, like I said before, we had some Funko sodas that were announced, were just kind of just random different ones. This is going to be another like wave based off of a specific line, whether it's a movie or a show. And for the first time, we're going to get a show, and this time it's going to be the What If show, uh, which just to kind of throw it out there, I think it's kind of random that we're getting this because What If show came out so long ago, and like to get it now, almost feels like it's too late. But they redeemed themselves in the actual molds, and I know we wanted to talk about this a little bit in detail, specifically about like what we think about this type of soda. Which, for those of you who don't know, Funko has now done, this is the third specific line where it's a full line from a show or a movie, like I said, and a bunch of characters from there, and they all come out with sodas. They're not numbered, so they're general releases. Majority of them are specific store exclusives. We're starting to get Target exclusives now. I know we saw that the last time we talked about what was it, was it the Guardians one? Yeah, the last time was the
Yep.
Guardians one. And this time we're going to get Target exclusive. This is going to be Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. We got a Walmart exclusive Zombie Iron Man. So these, of course, are from the episodes of What If. We're getting a T'Challa Star Lord. That one's going to just be a general release. We got a Strange Supreme, which is a general release. And then we got the Frost Giant Loki, which is also general. So it looks like just a Target and the Walmart for the first two. Uh, the molds on these things are fire though. So this is the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like we got the Spider-Man one. He's got the mask off, then he has the mask on. Looks awesome. The color detail looks sick. Zombie Iron Man looks awesome. Of course, we got that in pop form. We got that in 10-inch form.
Yeah.
This one has a glow in the dark chase. The T'Challa Star Lord, obviously with and without the mask on. We got another glow version of the Doctor Strange, and then the Giant Loki one is also a glow version too. Uh, Pretty cool. The glows are a little, not the craziest, but like I like that they're at least reaching outside the box with some of these, right? And I know both of us kind of agree that we have our thoughts on like the whole fact that these sodas don't have piece counts, right? And what we think about that. But then we said it last time, and I almost thought it was like just random that the first two happened to do this, but now it's about three of them in a row that the chases are actually really good when you pair them with the comments. Whereas when we're getting our general, like the last 5 or 6 sodas I talked about earlier, they were cool sodas and great characters, but the chase variances, like what they were doing, were lazy and not so great. So, like, do you think that's a coincidence, or what do you think when it comes to like these lines and them actually doing a really good job at the mold? Just the molds in general are really good, and then the chases.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. Obviously, yeah, I'm completely agree with you. One of my theories could be, and we've gone back and forth, are the numbers even actually real for like the OG soda line? But now it makes me feel like maybe they are, and they're gonna more mass produce these. So they've decided, hey, we can put the money towards making different molds for the chases. That's just like the first thing that jumps to my mind because three in a row, it just can't be a coincidence. Um, that they're all basically fire. When, like you said, I mean, the chases for the other new sodas that were just announced just weren't that great. So I think that has to be part of it, and I think it's just going to continue that we're going to get awesome chases for these
Yeah.
common releases.
Yeah, and we're gonna get more. We already know there was a I can't remember who leaked it. I don't know if it was like the pop news page or something, but it had showed all the lines, right? That were gonna basically
Yeah, it
be
was Pop
these
News that
like
leaked
mass
it.
produced
I think
lines.
Aquaman was getting one.
Yep.
I think the Flash maybe getting one.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's
and that
like
was pretty major movies. I
it
mean, this was like a
seems like
show,
it's
obviously, but
comic book movies
uh
slash yeah, what if, I know it's a Disney Plus show, but like that pop line was huge. So I'm not surprised we're getting these in soda, but it seems like it's just gonna be movies like that. And I think it's gonna
hmm
be like, about time these actually get into people's hands. Maybe season two might be coming out. I do agree with you. It's a little random, but I do feel like going forward, it's really going to be like timely, like how new pop lines are. It's not going to be like all of a sudden we're just going to get a huge Ghostbusters
yeah,
like common line. Like, I don't think that'll happen.
yeah. I think this is the only one that kind of threw me off because obviously the Wakanda one came off like, right on the tail of the
Yep.
Wakanda movie. And then we had the Guardians, which is kind of leading up to Guardians coming out. Um, but yeah, maybe there's another season very soon, and that's kind of like what they're building up to. I do like though that they only have five of them, even though there was a lot of characters that they could have used. So
Yeah.
it kind of like, you know, made it a little bit more like attainable and not ridiculous with every single one. Like even the Wakanda line was pretty big. It was definitely more than five. So like, it's still cool that they're doing it. But let us know your thoughts because I know we talk about it a lot when it comes to whole piece counts and no piece counts. And then what are your thoughts on like the whole common chase part of this as well? Because that whole thing I think is pretty interesting. Think about when you like really look at it, that they do a pretty good, and like I said, it's not even just a common and chase thing, it's like just the common molds themselves, like the molds and the detail and color, like are really done. Like like you said, like they put more time into it, even though they're being more mass produced, which is like
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Strange.
Yeah, but
All right. And then our next big line, we're getting more My Hero Funko Pops. And this one is interesting because I think this is the first anime build a scene. Let me know in the comments if I'm incorrect, or Migs if you know. I don't think there's been an anime build a scene. Has
I
there?
don't think so either. But I don't know. I mean, I don't collect it enough, know enough, but let me know. But I don't think there has been. At least maybe not this big, where
So
there's
it'll be
six pieces.
one thing that's really interesting to me, and like, please, if you're My Hero collector, obviously anime fans, like, let us know in the comments. Like, I think this is going to be a huge test for Funko of the demand for these build a scenes. I know Marvel's a huge like fandom in the Funko community, but anime is where it's at right now. Like, there's no questioning that. You even when we are just talking about with the One Piece, like that's why there's so many chases because they know the fans are gonna keep buying them to try to get the chases.
Yep.
So, with that being said, if this is some of your first opportunities to get a build a scene, I want to know what you all think. So, just like I said, let us know in the comments because I am a fan of the build a scenes, but sometimes they're awesome, sometimes they're not. Obviously, once again, we don't watch My Hero, but I'm assuming this is pretty cool if you're a fan.
Yeah.
And
I
then
wonder like what it like if it's just them like lined up or like is this from something specific or anything? Like if you know, obviously tell us. But I did want to point out I do like the Funko Specialty Series
that's what
sticker,
I was
like the
about to
exclusive.
say.
That thing is sick.
What exactly is that?
I don't know. I mean, I know we've seen
We've
specialty
seen it,
series.
but
We've
is
seen
that what
specialty series, but
this
not like this
is?
style, like this color or whatever. Like it's specialty series usually looks completely different than this. I'm trying to think of what I may have or I
I
know.
definitely have specialty series that normally, like, go to comic book shops or whatever.
Yeah, like
Is this just the
sodas,
new
right? Like
version
there
of
was
it?
like
Yeah.
specialty series sodas and stuff. But the sticker on that, if I can remember, is definitely not as cool as this one. I like this one. This is really cool.
Yeah, I
But it's
mean, it's
interesting that it has the Funko on it, Funko logo and everything.
yeah, I wonder if this was just the new version, which is interesting that they're making this line like a build-a-scene, a specialty series.
Yeah.
But
I mean, maybe because it's
regardless,
anime and it's like, like I don't know, who knows. Um, but the last one, so not really going on with a bang here because I know nothing
no.
about this or whatever. But this is a pop rocks line, so it's obviously probably like a metal band or something. So it's Megadeth. The character is Vic Rattlehead. Know nothing about this. Pretty interesting looking character. I feel like I've seen a few of these like metal rock like pops that they'll come out with like a character type of thing like this, where it's like
Megadeth has a few, I think, like
yeah, so
this.
maybe it's Megadeth specifically because
Yeah,
feel like I've seen this like style and like this type of thing, but pretty cool detail. Nothing about it. So it's not like anything I'm sure either of us are going to go after. Uh, but interesting that they're still hitting all different types
everything.
of people because
I
this is
I I agree,
completely different than a lot of other stuff that
which I
we've
think
been
is
talking
awesome.
about. Definitely. Um, but that was all the at least the second week of announcements, which was a ton of stuff.
It
Definitely a
was.
lot for sure. Um, oh, you know what, Charlie? They did announce the other Disney stuff. It just happened to be like in a different, it was like a few slides over, is the other ones you were talking about.
Interesting. It's
It
so
was just
weird.
weird that it wasn't like put out together with all the other pops you were talking about.
Their social team is just not what it used to
Yeah, no, they clearly they supposedly don't even have a social team.
be.
They're just dealing with puppets right now. They don't know what they're doing. Um, so let's get into just a couple other interesting pops or leaks or whatever that we did want to talk to before we end the episode because we it's obviously heavy with a lot of news and Funko drops and announcements. But let's talk about well, there was an announcement for this. So March 15th is when we're supposed to get the official of this. But before we actually started recording, there was already a leak of it. So we are getting a leak of the back side of the box. We're not gonna go too crazy on it. Obviously, if you didn't see it or you don't want to know about leaks, whatever, we won't go like super detailed into the leak specifically. But it is for the movie The Flash, which if those of you don't know, if you are any type of comic book fan or DC fan, you should know what's been going on in the craziness and drama with the movie and the controversy and will it come out, will it not come out, got pushed back. Um, it's just been a mess. Obviously, a lot of stuff has been going on with I already forgot his
Ezra
name because
Miller.
I care nothing for him. I never
Ezra
liked the
Miller.
guy. Honestly, I hated that he was a Flash. Ezra Miller, personally, D bag, but whatever. Um, they have a line. We knew they were gonna once they found out that the movie was gonna kind of go forward. We were questioning like, are they gonna scrap the line too? Because remember they were like announcing this stuff when they were maybe gonna get rid of the movie, and we're like, what the hell are they gonna do? Uh, but we're gonna get a line, and based off of the pictures and the leaks, I think it was what like 9 pops that were on the back of that photo, or was it
I think
more?
more than that.
Might have been more. Um, but a good amount, and might have been like 12. And there's a couple like leaks in there with like rumors of stuff that you weren't supposed to really know and characters, whatever. But something that was interesting, Charlie did say this, like some of those pops that are going to be coming out aren't going to actually be in the movie. Like there's been that much of change with this that Funko obviously wasn't able to just completely change what they already probably had in development.
Yeah.
So it's going to be weird. And I wonder if that will like, it's weird to say, but like, is that going to add value to some of these things? Is
That's
it
the
going to be
first thing
like,
I thought of.
like
Yeah.
to some of these pops that aren't actually supposed to be in the movie? And has this ever happened before? Like,
I don't think so. Which makes it interesting to me. But it's just so funny because like I look at this line and I like part of me is like, no one's gonna want these, but word on the street is this movie's awesome.
really?
It's tested. Supposedly it's so good
feel like it was supposed to be good. Like I
that
was really excited for it originally.
the CEO of Warner Discovery, who's crazy, but he's just like, yeah, I don't really care that Ezra Miller's a dick. I got him to apologize. This movie's awesome. We're still making movies with him, which
Yeah.
to me is
Like
crazy.
even going forward. He's saying that?
He is saying that.
Wow.
I don't see it happening just for like save face reasons. Like I feel like if they make that stance, other actors and or directors and talent will be like, we're not working for you just because of all the stuff Ezra Miller's done. I mean, a fake apology in the press, I don't
Eh,
think means like he's a
Yeah.
changed person. And like we said, we don't need to get into that, but this line is huge and it's just going to be interesting. Will these be stuff that's just on the shelf or are people going to love this movie and they're going to want it? DC is just so, and I know we haven't in a while talked about like movie or TV news, but like soon, word on the street, it could even be this week. James Gunn is going to like announce the, timeline vision of what's coming out for his new
Like
DC.
what DC is gonna look like, yeah. Which to touch on that, just before I lose this thought. So it's interesting that you said what you said about the whole Time Warner nut, and the craziness is like James Gunn's obviously scrapping a lot of stuff. He doesn't want basically the Justice League that we know of to essentially exist in terms of like this is no longer Batman, this is no longer Superman. Like we're getting rid of those actors and those characters. But it's like weird to think that they would go forward with the one person in that mix that had like the most drama and issues and things and like continue to have him be there, but not anyone else. Whereas like it's an easy excuse for them to just scrap all of them if they've already kind of been doing it with the rest of them. But money rules all, man. So like the fact that this movie was already being made, they know they're gonna make money, and it's like, but what I don't like is like that it's just kind of like gonna be a movie we're gonna get, and I don't see it connecting to where the world's gonna be,
No.
or
What
like
I
it's gonna be weird, I feel
what
like.
I personally think is going to happen, and there's been rumors about it, but then it's gone back and forth. But now that I think James Gunn's in, his job is to, make this creative vision. He's, supposed to be the Kevin Feige of DC, which
Yeah.
in my opinion is a joke. But
It
I,
is, but at least they're trying to get somebody like that. It's
it
kind of
is.
like
I
they need
agree.
that. They
It's
need
just
something
funny
like that.
because, like, to give a little more movie like news, I like James Gunn. I love Guardians. But another rumor that's coming out that rubs me the wrong way is he's getting rid of everybody, but he's keeping his wife, who is a character in Peacemaker,
Hmm.
and he's keeping the characters he made, which,
Like Suicide Squad.
yeah. So his Suicide Squad members, his Peacemaker characters. Now, I love Peacemaker, but if you're now a leader of a company who is supposed to create a new vision, if you're going to get rid of everyone else's toys, you should be have the balls enough to do it to yours and start over. That rubs me the wrong way. Like I don't like it. I just think it's destined to fail on the big screen, unfortunately. I don't think James Gunn is gonna create something that's gonna even touch Marvel. But one thing I do think he'll do, and the reason I'm getting on this tangent is maybe they will write a scene for the Flash to do some reshoots because that movie's already had a ton of reshoots where they get the new actors gonna play the Flash and because this movie is about Flashpoint, it's going to be their version of the multiverse, and the new Flash comes in
It's
the
an
end
easy
of that
way
movie.
to do
It
that. Yeah.
actually, they're lucky this is like the last movie that was made that's coming out because they could make it look like it was done that way on purpose.
Hmm.
Is what I. The long story short.
Yeah. Which does make sense, and it makes you think like, will they do that with just with Flash, or is that where they kind of introduce his world or whatever? Like, well, does he have anything to do with this movie though? Because this was all
No,
done before him.
it was all done before, but there's no way like he's not looking at the movie and
So
all
you think it will
movies.
set up into his world versus just being a standalone movie that we're going to be like, oh, that was cool, and then now let's start all
I
over.
think so only because of the subject matter of the movie.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, it makes
easy to
sense. Yeah.
it's easy to do. But like the new Aquaman, that means nothing in terms of connectivity to the
I
point
forgot there was
where,
another Aquaman, honestly.
yeah, which is also insane. Like, I mean, this isn't a spoiler for anyone. Like, I mean, I'm in the movie zeitgeist. Like, I love not just collectibles, but movies too. Jason Momoa is going to play Lobo. He is legitimately going to play.
I'm Marvel.
It's like Hollywood's worst kept secret. He's like a almost like a Deadpool version character in like the DC.
DC, yeah.
I mean, he looks like him. It's like perfect casting, but it's insane that like he's already pumped about playing Lobo when his Aquaman movie hasn't come out. It already just shows like he doesn't give it, they don't give a shit about it, which is just like, in my opinion, kind of a joke. Especially the Aquaman movie is the most profitable DC movie ever.
Really?
Yes. So just like keep that in
More than
mind too.
Batman?
Yes. You
The
have your,
Batman?
yes. You have
Wow.
your star of their most profitable franchise already being like, hell yeah, I have something in the books that's gonna be awesome in DC, like gonna play another character. It's just like
And
it's
it's
a
also, and
mess.
it's like with the way he's being so hyped about is not even something it's gonna it's fucking Morbius of
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy.
I know it's so weird. We could totally have like an entire
Yeah.
episode on this, but like I really like sometimes wonder like was like you said it was destined to fail in film, but like what it is, and you don't have to answer this because we can just talk about this another time, but like what it is with a DC character or story that just cannot go to the big screen. Like there's gotta be comparing it to Marvel, let's say. Like there's gotta be a reason. It's so weird because there's been so many people who have tried it. It's not like
I just think they
it's not
haven't
like it's
had
been a
like,
Kevin Feige who has constantly been failing. It's literally been so many different people in
I
the
think
room.
that's the problem though. So like I'm like a Kevin Feige sweaty. So like I think this guy is like the greatest producer of all time. I mean, his track record shows, but like it's funny because I can even, what my thought process right now, I can even bring around to Funko. The dude loves Marvel even before he was in charge of it. Like this is his world, not just professionally, but personally. Just like Funko needs people who work for Funko, that it's not just a job, it's what they love. You know, they eat, sleep, and poop Funko. That's what Kevin Feige does. They've never had that at DC.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, like I like Zack Snyder and I think he thinks he's that guy, but he's just not. And obviously he was just a director, not the producer overseeing the projects.
Yeah, I
They
think that
just
was
never,
part of it.
and like James Gunn's not it either. I'm sorry. He's just not.
No, but I could see him. Yeah, I don't think so either, obviously, but I can see him having more of that type of success than Snyder did because Snyder was very direct. Like like at least he has probably has more of a vision. Whether it's like perfect or not, I could
Yeah.
see him at least kind of somewhat giving us like some type of line, even if it's a shitty squiggly line, like it's a line versus four lines. I could
No,
just see it like it.
I do agree that, but I think it's gonna be weird. I don't think it's gonna be what we want. I mean, he hates Henry Cavill. It's the reason he is no longer Superman after he
Yeah.
announced he was Superman. He then announced he is writing and directing the new Superman movie. Like that's his first
Oh yeah.
project. Um, I don't know. It's just weird. It's gonna be interesting. I hope it's good because I love Marvel, obviously, but I also love DC. It's just
Yeah.
no one really talks about it in like the pop culture world anymore because there's nothing really to talk about.
Yeah. It's had so many duds that people just kind of expect it never to rise
Yeah.
back up. But let's get back into some of his
Yeah, let's get
news.
back into the
Yeah,
news.
we'll get to a few more things to end this episode.
I'll throw out one real quick.
Good,
So if you're going to the San Francisco Giants game on September 9th, I want you to get me this Funko Pop if you don't want
bro.
it.
It's crazy that it's September and they already like
I
announced
know.
it.
It is a Mando Pop in like the San Francisco Giant color, so black and orange, and he's like
Sick.
holding a bat. Like I know this is random, but it's sick. It's being given out on Star Wars
The
Day.
Giants have always had like really
They
good
have
collabs, and it's
it,
so awesome.
and they've had Star Wars ones before. I know there's a C3PO one.
Hmm.
This pop is just freaking sick.
Yeah,
Like, I love this pop.
yeah, it looks really cool. And it was just like a concept, like a very
Yeah.
like picture. It wasn't even like the actual version yet, and it's probably gonna look even better once it releases. But yeah, I agree. That thing looks sick. Um, we did have an announcement. Finally, we're getting another collector core box. It's gonna be the Ant-Man Quantum Mania one. It's gonna be for March. Sure, it's gonna be a pretty cool
Yeah.
pop. That's a big line. Obviously, we talked about some stuff leaking and stuff with that. So that's gonna be an interesting one that we're getting. Another pretty big movie. I'm glad they're doing some more of these bigger movies. I feel like when they were in the stage of like Disney Plus
Plus
shows and stuff, it was a
shows.
little like yeah. So now we're
Yeah.
getting like the big movies because the last one was obviously an awesome one with the Spider-Man box. But yeah, that was a pretty cool one.
Another thing we got was the next round of the build the scenes for the No Way Home. So we got Sandman and we got Electro. And honestly, the Electro pop's pretty sweet. Like Jamie Foxx's Electro is getting a lot of love in this No Way
Yeah.
Home because there's 3 different versions of him and they're
Hmm.
all completely different and they're sick. And this one where you actually see his face where this is
Yep.
what he looks like for
It's
most of
more
the
of actual
movie.
Jamie Foxx, and yeah, he was
Yeah.
most like that.
And the Sandman one's pretty cool too. Like I know this is a build a scene, takes room, yada yada, but I actually think it's pretty cool.
I mean, it is cool that it's like they're on top of each other, it's like two layers.
Yeah.
Like I think in that sense, rather than just going horizontally long, a big build, it's actually makes it a little bit more compact. So I agree. It's a definitely a cool one. We had a leak, which I got so hyped about. We'll put it up because this is got me excited. We've been talking about the fact that these were going to come out again eventually, and it was Michael Jackson type pops.
Yes.
We've had rumors of maybe some pops. We've had rumors of the pop album, which I would go bananas for. But there is at least one picture. It's an interesting picture because it's not like the pop. It looks like it's maybe like a concept or of like what the mold will be. Um, and it looks awesome. And I mean, I'm just excited to see when we finally get these like officially at some point because it's been a little while that we were like rumored to get pops and the album and stuff. So I can't wait to see,
But it's just so
we finally get
funny
these.
that this rumor came out today because they just announced that they're making like a Michael Jackson biopic and his nephew is
Yes, yes,
actually
yes.
playing him,
I did see
which
that,
is
yeah.
sick.
Which is awesome.
Um,
It looks like him when he was young. It's
it
crazy.
does. It's so weird.
He's
But then
Jermaine's son, I believe.
yeah, which then makes me believe like I wonder if something with the estate was just like signed where like you can start basically
Yeah,
making
because
money off
this
of
was
Michael.
the oh yeah, because I mean we spoke about it a while ago, but for those of you who don't know, obviously Michael Jackson pops exist.
Yeah,
There's maybe five or six, maybe like five. And it was basically like every like famous
iconic.
like
Yeah,
song, iconic song was like a pop. It was like a Beat It. There was a Billie Jean. There was a Smooth Criminal. So there was Bad. There was all different versions, and it was him, which was awesome because it was him in a different outfit, him from like that video, and it like was before its time because now with what we're having and these scenes and like all these big deluxe albums like
yes.
back then it was just single regular this is the character and they were doing that better style than just a mold of one person. And Michael Jackson's larger than life. But it's so old. It was a long time ago. And then obviously the estate with Michael Jackson is a crazy, thing. And like they are so powerful, I guess you could say, that they were able to get Funko to pull, never obviously making them, taking them off of their app. Like you couldn't find them anywhere unless you literally bought them off of somebody. Someone had them on an auction or on eBay or
And they're the
whatever.
most
But like
faked pop, I would say.
the values are crazy. And exactly because of that, then they became with crazy fakes and like it was crazy. And it was an older mold. And I feel like fakes back then were probably easier to get by because they were
Yes,
kind of more
less
plain and like
detailed.
you can get away with making, yeah, not getting so detailed and making a fake one. Um, but then finally we started getting these rumors and we're like, there's gonna be Michael Jackson pops, there's gonna be more. And I'm like, how? Like you
I
can't
know.
like these things didn't they weren't possible. So and obviously those grails are beyond me and Charlie's like we're
Yeah.
like if by any means we're ever able to get one, it would be I would probably agree with me, right, Charlie? Like
Yep.
one of our top personal grades of all times. And I
100%.
would get any of them be and feel like that, not just even one specific. So that's why when these come out, even if they're just common and there's like 50 million of them, I just need to have one. Like,
I
just
agree. I need
especially if
them.
they do the album. I feel like the album is going to be so fire. Like I have a record player now. I've been collecting vinyl records a lot, getting into that. Like that I could see myself putting above where I have
Your
my
record
record player.
player.
Like
Agreed.
literally. So but yeah, I got pretty hyped about that. If you guys don't know, this is my favorite artist of all time. So definitely hyped about that leak. What else? Anything?
Another pop we got, which like there seem to be like bringing this line back, is the lights and sound. And we
Yeah.
got a Black Panther one, and this one is, I think, sick.
It's so cool. And it's interesting to bringing it back because they've come out with a couple little ones. But did you notice like the Batman one's on like clearance or whatever? Like it got like a
Yeah,
discount. So it's like it doesn't probably sell a lot, but like this one's cool. And I'm sure it does like a roar sound or something. Like it's
it's
probably
just
like a really
cool.
cool sound with Black Panther and he's up on like a little bit of like a cliff thing. But yeah, I thought that one was really cool as well. And then I guess the last thing we can just leave everyone with is the NFT news. Of course, we talked about it last week, but the Teen Titans Go drop, you're listening to this, it's coming out today. So 2 o'clock. This will be when the latest one will be. We're both trying to go after some packs. So I think I'm gonna try to go after a good amount, maybe if I can, depending on how many I can get, but I'll try to get as many as I could probably get. Charlie, I know you're trying to like not get too many just to get a
Yeah,
few packs here and there. I am pretty excited for this because I think the royalty looks amazing. So if I can get a good amount of stuff, maybe I'll try to go after royalty. But there's a couple of the redeemables that I am very excited for. Like I really would want that Slade and the Red Robin, probably my top two favorites of like the legendary
oh,
line.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's funny. The one I like the most is the Grail, which is obviously the hardest to get. I just think
yeah,
that
and then
like
the Grail,
looks
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
But I also, it's funny. I mean, I love the Red Robin and the Slay one too, but I really like the Aqua Lad just because like that's like so random. Like
Yeah,
it's like I like
I
I've
don't
said
know
this
anything about that
before. Like,
character,
yeah,
but
I
it's
like
cool.
that. Like I feel like this line is a mixture of like mainstream I mean, if you're a fan of the show, it's all mainstream, I guess. But like you said, you look at like Aqualad or Bumblebee, and you're like, who are they? But you know who Robin and you know who Deathstroke are.
Hmm.
Um, and then like I feel like Beast Boy, like it's weird. Like for Teen Titans, he's like huge, even
Yeah,
though like I feel like if you don't know Teen Titans, you don't know that character, which is funny how big he is in like this world. But that Freddy Funko is sick. Um,
yeah,
I
it
do think
looks
this is
cool
going to
as
be a
Freddy. Yeah.
big line.
Yeah, it's like 20 something thousand packs. So like it's
Probably like
obviously gonna be
15
bigger.
epics, probably.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm like, ugh, like it's probably not gonna be the easiest to get because that Beast Boy one would be an awesome royalty to try to collect.
Agreed.
Um, but yeah, what an episode. I
Yeah,
mean,
a lot of stuff.
I feel exhausted because we were
Me too.
really going in.
Funko just
uh
never, they do not slow down. They do not
no,
slow down.
they do not. There's a lot of great news, a lot of stuff from the Funko Fair. Obviously, we got into, me and Charlie, some of our biggest passions beyond Funko really is movies. So I know when we get into the movie talk, we kind of just get going. We've kind of talked about maybe potentially doing like, movies style
Yeah,
fully episodes and stuff like, but us talking today got me thinking about it again. So like maybe that's something,
maybe
if you
we
guys
should.
want something like that, let us know. Because we can definitely get into that type of thing, whether it's movies or shows or whatever. But yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. We'll think about it. But this episode, otherwise, that was episode 57. Really appreciate everyone for listening and everything you guys do. And Charlie will let us go by letting you guys know where to follow us and everything like normal, and just make sure that you guys are definitely subscribed and like this video, please, please, please.
Yes, please, please like this video, comment, and like I said, hit that notification bell so you know when new stuff's coming out. And like we said last episode, keep an eye out on the shorts. We're trying to like
Yeah,
pump out a few shorts every week in the new year. That's a goal of ours. And like I said, on the podcast platforms, make sure you're following us, and on Spotify, definitely answer those questions, because like that's another way. If you're not, we really would like you to come over to YouTube as well. But if you're just not going to do that for one reason or another, interact with us over at Spotify. And then also make sure you're following us both at our personal collector accounts, which are right below our names if you're listening on YouTube. But if you're on the podcast, that's pop_Migs. And then I'm collector_Charlie. And then please make sure you're following our main account at Collector Chatter. And before we go, I need to say one hilarious thing, because I'm just looking at Distrackers. Recently, during this episode, they posted a pop for sale on Amazon. It is a con exclusive from James Gunn's Suicide Squad that is on sale for $3. So, with that being said, I don't think DC is going to have a good future.
Oh
Until the
man.
next episode. Later, everyone.
Bye guys.